We are back inside City Hall, and as we reported earlier, our latest NY1 Marist College poll shows that City Council Speaker Christine Quinn holds a commanding lead at this early stage of polling in the 2013 race for mayor. Quinn may be benefiting by her prominent position at the head of the City Council, but her close relationship with Mayor Bloomberg might do little to help her with voters. Only 30% of respondents say that an endorsement from the mayor would make it more likely they would vote for a candidate. Here to discuss today's poll and much more are the four members of our Consultants Corner. We've got Republicans Jessica Proud and Brendan Quinn, and Democrats Bob Liff and Patrick Jenkins. Welcome to all of you. Good to see you. Let's unpack this poll. For me, the most interesting part of it is that undecided is no longer leading the field. It looks like people are starting to make some choices, or is that too soon?
Well, I think that what you're seeing is essentially at this point a name familiarity. I don't think any of these candidates, any of the major Democratic candidates, setting aside the kind of specter of Ray Kelly or somebody coming in on the Republican side, that these are fairly well-known, experienced people. So I don't think this is a crystallized field yet, but I think Christine Quinn has, is as close to being in the driver's seat at the moment.
It's extremely early. I mean, but having a commanding lead, as you call it, at this point is a good thing. If I'm in Quinn's camp, I'm extremely happy. It's something to build on. But when it is this early, of course, sometimes you don't want to be the front runner. You get to be the person that people snipe at, look at, they probe, poke, and being in the front runner this early may be a little bit of an issue.
So Tom Allen is pacing himself, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Well, she's failed to take a position on some of the really important issues, so I think that's going to be a problem as she starts to, when they're all playing to the left in the Democratic base, she's going to have to come out, and so far in the media she hasn't done that, so it could provide an opening for someone like a Ray Kelly to come in.
So after 5 terms, Brendan, the Republicans aren't going to field a candidate, or are they still looking?
It's early, there'll be a candidate, and I think if you look at this poll, the magic number really is 40%, and if you have a crowded field, does that prevent Christine Quinn from getting to 40% and preventing a runoff?
I think Jessica made a good point about she hasn't taken positions. I mean, one of the problems, I put the word problems in quotes, that Christine Quinn has is that as a legislative leader, legislative process is a process of compromise, and you can't, it's not an executive position. So you have the burden of having to make decisions that some of the other candidates don't have. They don't have that burden. It's an opportunity, but it's also a burden. And when you do make decisions, to the degree that voters are focused on positions, then that could cost you votes, but it's the burden of leadership.
If you're counseling any of the other candidates who are not Christine Quinn, what would you tell them to do right now?
You follow Bob's point and take some of those votes and those positions she did take as the leader of the city council and things that were put through, and you can juxtapose that against what your issue is and drive that wedge and take that vote away. And if you look at the outer boroughs versus Manhattan and some of those battles, there's probably a way to be able to get in there and, one, prevent her from hitting 40%, 2, put yourself in a position, if you're one of the other candidates, to go in there and be that stalking horse and time it right to go out there and take that.
I think they just need to position her as an extension of the Bloomberg administration. I mean, you have a diverse field right now, and as the campaign progresses, certain bases will come out and support. But, I think as playing to that liberal Democratic base, that's going to be their ace in the hole, I think.
What? Good.
And with respect to the mayor, with the presidential race, it's not there yet. I'm telling a candidate today to, one, continue to raise money and continue to go out and talk to people, go to communities, talk to voters, and let these numbers just work themselves out down toward the end of the year.
I think the specter of Kelly is really, and as of this point, I take Kelly at his word that he's not running for mayor, although I guess he's softened that a little bit. We kind of do tea leaves in this business because we don't have real lives. And, the degree to which Quinn is, if in fact Quinn is trying to establish herself as, Bloomberg 4, assuming there is no Bloomberg 4, that Kelly certainly chops into that. And I think also has the potential, because of the unpopularity of the stop and frisk program, to kind of put a kind of real edge, and a racially tinged edge and an ethnically tinged edge into the campaign. That's kind of a wild card, and it's something I think that Bloomberg, for most of his term up to now, has kind of dampened after the Giuliani years, after the kind of acrid atmosphere we had in this city under Giuliani. So this is obviously a long way from being crystallized, and Patrick's right. We got a presidential election, a congressional election, et cetera, first. Okay. But we're always looking at the next election.
Always looking ahead. That's the place to be. Looking ahead, we're going to take a break, then we'll have more with our Consultants Corner in just a moment. Later, I'll tell you how you can join our conversation by commenting on tonight's program. Stay with us.